everybody gets on here. Whoa, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna stay good or not. My Wi-Fi's been super crap. Shalom, guys. Yeah, I'm home alone. Yeah. Uh, what's up, Texas T? Mo Bear, Journey John, Heather. Yeah, I'm home alone tonight, and I was on Bob's for a while, and I was like, oh man, it's not enough. I said I gotta get on here and say hi to some people. So yeah, dude. So I'm on like week 4 of getting up at 4 in the morning and going to the gym, and then working 8 or 10 hours every day, um, which is it's not easy, man, when you're kind of burned up. So I'm trying to get tough again, and because I was getting a little soft, especially in the middle. But yeah, I definitely feel pretty good. Actually, I feel really good today. I had a good day where it was leg day, and then I did some core, and work is work's awesome right now. Yeah, I've been I think for the last 2 or 2.5 months, um, been just ripping on work. Traveling out of town, and then got some big jobs here locally locked in. I got a couple days and I'll be finished with this last job, um, and we'll move on to a different phase of that project. But yeah, been good working with good brothers. I'm in a cool position because I get to like pass on knowledge that I have about construction and stuff like that to people that potentially could use it to better themselves in life, to have their own business or whatever. And it's funny, man, because I see so much. Shalom, Palmetto. I see so much of myself in them, but they're way ahead of the game because you guys know me. I was a knucklehead and spent, I don't know, a couple decades. Just pretty much being a jackass, and I'm on the flip side of that now. So I'll tell you, it's a lot. Time flies when you're wrecking your life. When you're trying to build it back, it takes a little while, and I think that um, you know there's consequences to your behavior, right? And so I wasn't good. I wasn't good to my body, and then I smoked for probably 30 years, 32 years, something like that. And sup, wrenches. And I think, like, I quit smoking a couple months ago, and I'd quit before. I quit for 3 years and 6 months, and when I quit for the 3 years, I just vaped the whole time. So I don't know if I really quit, but definitely didn't smell as bad. But yeah, so smoked like crazy, and I mean, I still want cigarettes all the time, and I'm just like, nah, I ain't doing it anymore. So I don't know how much of them lungs I got left, but I'm building back up at the gym. And like when you're older, if you like, if you try to go to the gym and like get something right away, for me, for my experience right now, is it's not quick. Um, because I changed my diet and my eating habits, and I work out 5 days a week. On the weekends I don't, but I do physical. Physical labor is like what I do for a living. So it's like it's not just gym time. Then it's moving heavy material all day, swinging a hammer, swinging a sledgehammer, and that'll wear you out just doing that. And I think for me, what I'm getting back that is right away is that I'm getting my posture back. My posture is like I feel better. I don't sleep any different. I sleep the same. Like maybe I get 4 or 4.5 hours every night, but that's because the wife and kids they're on a little bit later schedule than I'd like to be on, and so by the time everybody's wound down, it's like 10, and it takes me probably another hour or so before I fall out, and like everybody's got to be in their spot, and then I'll relax and go to sleep. Um, but I thought I was gonna go to the gym, and in like a couple weeks I'd start and maybe lose like 10 pounds or something like that. It just ain't that way. And then also because I'm a big dude, I'm putting on muscle. So even though I'm shrinking in my waistline, I'm putting on muscle. Even though I'm not like trying to bulk or anything like that, I'm putting on muscle, and so the weight's balancing out. But I think this is my fourth week, and I think I'm finally starting to shake a little bit more weight this week. And yeah, it's been cool, man. So what I got in my mind is I didn't have any kind of set goal on time frame. I just figured I'd go for a couple months and see what happened. But now that I've been doing it for 3.5 weeks, I'm like, okay, so this is going to take a while, and I'm happy with what's happening. But I've always been that instant gratification dude. If I couldn't see results right away, I was like, I don't want to do it. Um, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to work hard if I want. So my goal is to be able to run 300 yards and still fight. Um, and so that's my objective right now, which means that I need to shoot for running a mile and then being able to fight. Um, so that don't sound like much, but like I'm pushing 47 this year. It's a lot, man, especially if you ain't been healthy. And I was on the only kind of athlete stuff I did, um, was I raced bikes, raced BMX. And I did that mostly when I was a kid. I did a little bit in my early 30s, but not enough. I got injured and then I was out. Um, and I've pretty much been kind of out since then, really. That was my second knee that I blew out my ACL in, and it really slowed me down. And so I think I've kind of pushed back from working out because every time I try to get going, I'm competitive and I end up hurting myself. And so now I think I learned this in my older age is to pace myself, because I used to go to work and if we had a bust up concrete, I'd just go super hard, and then I'd be gassed the rest of the day. And then I realized, hey, look, like I have this set time to do this. I'm gonna just take the time and do it. And I'd go a little while until I'd start getting a little bit gassed, and then I'd stop for a minute, and then I'd go a little bit more, instead of just nonstop until I was gassed, trying to get it done. And I think it's the same thing that's happening in the gym right now. Is I'm going as hard as I can go, knowing that I have to work, and then I go a little bit harder. So competitive, right? But I've never been like a workout in the gym dude. Um, Nothing like that. I worked out a little bit when I was locked up, but not much. Just never was my jam. But now, um, I'm pretty much seeing benefits all the way around. I'm not shaking the weight like the guy I'm working out with is, in his mid 30s, and I can see week 3, shoulders filled out, his arms buffed back up, his chest is filling back out, his belly's going away, and I'm like, And I look down, and I'm like, damn, I'm still kind of fat, and it's okay. It's like it is what it is. But my posture's better. I feel better. I ain't breathing heavy to tie my boots. You know what I'm saying? So like all this stuff's kind of crazy. What's up, sober party? Um, so I figured it's probably going to take me about 6 months to get relatively strong for just any human being. Just get strong. And then in that 6 months, I'll probably shake about 20, maybe 30 pounds, maybe more than that, but we'll see. Because I'm not like super hard on my diet. I just basically cut out all pasta and very little bread, tortillas, just a little bit of tortillas, and I might have like one hamburger a week, which construction dudes, I mean, we pretty much live out of our trucks. So if somebody don't pack us a lunch, we're eating whatever's convenient, gas station burritos, whatever. And I pretty much cut all that crap out. I'm trying to do mostly high protein. Like I'll get a burger a lot of times with no bun and just eat the lettuce and veggies or just the meat or whatever. But I want to run, but I'm too heavy. I'm 280 right now, and 280 is too heavy. And it ain't like I'm super fat. I'm just heavy. I'm just big. So I've got to shake a massive amount of weight. So I'll have to be probably under 250 to be able to comfortably run and not blow my knees out any more than they are. Yeah, zucchini noodles are awesome. But I'm not into that diet either. I'm just trying to do like a lot of protein, and try to keep my calories relatively small. I'm not going super crazy. I am trying to eat breakfast, which I usually don't do. But because working out at the gym, man, I'm just hungry as shit. Like 9 in the morning, I'm starving to death. And I'll teach you guys a trick. So if you ever run your own business and you got people that have to do a little bit of physical or a lot of physical labor, um, if you start regular time like 7, maybe 8 in the morning, make your people eat lunch by 10:30 or 11. Don't let them wait till 12 or 1 to eat, because by the time 12 or 1 runs around for most people, they're really hungry. And then when they eat, about 40% of production is going to fall off. Ask me how I know. I've watched this for decades. You feed people too late, they get full, or that food hits them, and then now it's like nap time, now it's lazy time, and they're in slow motion. But if you feed them early in the morning, like 10:30, 11, they can run all the way to 5, no problem. And that you'll actually get just like a really small window of them being slow for maybe like an hour, and then they go right back to about 90-95% of what they do in the morning time. And if you want to make money and get stuff done, I'm telling you, feed your people early and make them eat. And all the guys that I started on it hated it. They're like, nah, I want to eat at noon, I want to eat at this. And I said, look, you're used to that, but we're all going to eat together because we're not taking all these different lunches. And so reluctantly they did it, but after a while they could see the benefits of why I had everybody eat when I did. But yeah, enough of that. Let me catch up on some of this chat, because you all's been yapping away in here and I ain't read shit. Wish my wife was here right now. She's visiting a friend. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna beat him arm wrestling this next time I see him, because last time I arm wrestled him, like, I don't know, this is like the third time. Yeah, I think I arm wrestled like 3 times, and we tied twice. But the first time was in Kentucky on deployment, and then in Mississippi. And in Mississippi, man, he got me. But I was still healing from shoulder surgery, and so my upper body was pretty weak, because I noticed that if I used my good arm, I would end up using my bad arm too, and it was taking too long to heal because I kept getting hurt. And so what I ended up doing is I just slowed down everything upper body, and it pays a toll on you if you're not strong up top. So when I arm wrestled in Mississippi, I felt strong, at least as strong as I felt in a while, because I had shoulder surgery. But nah, it's no good. He got me, and I was like, damn, he really got me. But we went again in Texas on the last deployment I was on with him, and Ty. But I was struggling, and I did hurt my shoulder a little bit. Not the one I had surgery on, my other one, but now it's like it's a little bit different. He works out a lot, and he's a big dude. I mean, my arms are like, they're not tiny, but his arms are probably twice as big as mine. They're like this big. Um, but that gym muscles ain't the same as like, construction muscles. They're just not. So let me catch up here a little bit. Shalom, Striker Cade. How tall am I? I mean, I'm 6'1" ish, maybe a little taller. I wear big boots, so I'm probably 6'2" with my boots on. But um, well, I'm taller than TJ if you guys watch Baron and Pennant. Um, but he's definitely got some big shoulders. He's a strong dude. Matter of fact, I blew my back out one time, and I couldn't get up off the floor. I was stuck, and I was hurting so bad, and I'd never hurt my back, but he came over and with basically one arm got up underneath me and just picked me up on his shoulder and just like carried me out to the truck so I could go to one of the feast days. Um, it was awesome. I was like, damn, this dude's solid, because I knew he was strong, but yeah, 215, 6'3". That's a good fight weight. Yeah, that's a good fight weight. I think 210 or 220 was probably my best fight weight. I was still pretty fast, but had enough weight where I can knock out big guys. Um, and yeah, that's a good weight for me because it's pretty proportionate. But I ain't been 210 or 220 in a hot minute, and I'm pretty sure the last time I was either one of those weights, I was super duper unhealthy, if you know what I mean. What's up, Justin? Yeah, back pain's bad. This was crippling back pain. I'll put it to you like this: I blew out my ACL in both my knees, and it hurt so bad when I did it that I felt like I was going to throw up because it hurt so bad. And this back pain that I had that one time was way worse. And I was down for a week and a half. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't lay in the bed. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't do there was nothing. Like everything hurt bad. And I pretty much just whined the whole time, and my wife took care of me. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe it was worse. I don't know. If she was here, she'd probably laugh at me right now. Yeah, when you're injured, man, I'll tell you, it's easy to put the weight on. Oh, dude, I was gonna tell you guys. I'm like, my shirt's a little bit wet. I don't know if you can tell, but I went outside to lock the chickens up because the fam's gone, and usually we have the kids do it. But I heard this chirping, and we got a bunch of new chicks that just got hatched, and I'm looking for them. It's dark, almost dark, and I'm looking all over the place, and I see something moving in their water bowl, and sure enough, one of the baby chicks is about to drown in there. Its head's just barely up. It's like on its tippy toes, just screaming for help. And yeah, I freaking went over there and got it, tried to dry it off a little bit, and then I went to put it with Mama, and she attacked me a little bit. It was cute. Yeah, getting old sucks, man, but you ain't getting out of it. It's just if you do it graceful or not. My grandfather didn't do it very gracefully, man. He got really bitter, but he was an airplane mechanic in World War II, and he used his hands for everything. And when he got to where he couldn't use his hands, like he couldn't button his pants or nothing, I mean, he was just miserable. And he's a really bad alcoholic. He did not, yeah, he was really bitter in his last few years. And I saw that, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. And my hands are already getting weak because I swing a hammer all the time, and I've rode motorcycles and bikes like all my life. Um, but working out will slow the aging down, the shitty part of aging. I'm still gonna age. Like mentally, I'm not near as fast as I used to be. Um, but biggest thing out of any of it is I'm happy. I'm available for my family. Um, I can fight if I need to. I just can't fight the way I want. Yeah, they definitely work harder to die than they do. Uh, Cowboy accent? Not really. Um, I'm from California, born and raised. Spent most of my life there. Sorry, guys, I'm reading all these. Shalom, Ben. Yeah, I think Sandra was asking if where I live at. Well, I don't talk about that, but it's somewhere in the South. Um, and then she asked if I was a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, but I'm happily married. Also, when I speak about fighting, it's just in self-defense, not like for money or nothing like that. I thought about it when I was a kid. I should have before I got all busted up, and made all them bad life choices. Um, yeah, Holy Spirit's definitely speaking. I think to most of us on this channel. Kung Fu Panda. I used to fight pretty good, but I probably get whooped on right now. Um, I think Dudley said that once I get to where I can run 300 yards and fight, he said he'd be at the other end of that 300 yards. I said, all right, bro, but if I'm in shape, you better pack a lunch, homie. That dude's going to whoop my ass. I like talking smack, though. Um, so, yeah, I was reading a little bit of Proverbs and then uh, I think Ephesians earlier. Um, yeah, I've been kind of just going through the motions because I've been a little bit dry. Um, and I think part of that's because I've been super busy. Usually, when I have downtime, it gives me enough time to start like processing stuff. And I've been so busy, and I really ain't had time, man. I could listen to the word at work, but I don't get nothing out of it because I start working and thinking about work. So on the drive to work, I'll put the word on sometimes. But tonight was wonderful because I was listening to Bob. He's like, "Hey, you need to be in the word, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a good idea." And I paused the video and went and did a few chapters. Um, and then I listened to some other lives talking about the Bible and just different stuff. Yeah, OPSEC for real, John. Um, Appreciate you, Jeremy. Yeah, Bob was on one tonight, and that's good, man. I like Bob because he wears his passion on his sleeve. You can always tell. Matter of fact, I seen him in the office today, not the refuge office, but somewhere else. I seen him in one of the offices, and uh, he was so happy to see me. He was just like, "Man, I love you," and give me a big old hug. And I feel the same way. He's a special dude, um, and he's like one of those dudes that's like super good at everything he does. Um, I got a few brothers like that are really gifted at a lot of stuff. Um, but he's really good at a lot of stuff he does, man. And it's almost effortless. It's just natural for him. He's just really good. But I don't know. But yeah, I've been working on an old building, and I think it was built in the 40s. I'm pretty sure, and it's got redwood framing, and it is crazy dust underneath it. And when we cut the wood, the dust that comes off it is like burns your nose, burns your lungs. It's freaking terrible, man. It's so bad. And I'm cutting open the floors because there's a bunch of beams and joists on a pier and beam foundation that are rotten, and we're getting it all straightened out and getting it leveled back up. And finally today we got like the hardest parts done, and now we're just like kind of closing everything up. So we got another 2 days to close everything up. We got very, very little technical stuff to do. Just basically cutting squares and laying them on the floor and nailing them down. But all the really hard stuff's been done, and I'm so excited that I've got like a young 20-year-old buck that's coming to work tomorrow, because that dude is gonna work his ass off helping us, because I ain't running shit in and out to the dumpster if I can help it. Um, yeah, I think the cool thing is now that I'm older, I can use my brain to make money and not my body. And then like the more money you make is like the smarter you are, the more stuff you know. Um, Especially in construction, man. There's so many tricks that make uh, your work good and done efficiently, that people don't know. And then like when I teach them just little tricks, they're just like, dang. Um, but my brother, I'm teaching a brother of mine. He's kind of doing like I'm kind of mentoring him, so he's doing like a light apprentice thing with me. And what's cool about that is that he's got a lot of really good skills, but he's also got an ability to speak to people, and a look that is inviting. So like if he ever decides he wants to be a contractor for himself, he's going to be really good at pitching the job, and he's really presentable, in in a lot of formats. And he's got this very confident and trustworthy candor about the way that he speaks, and I love it, because even if he doesn't know what he sounds like know what he's talking about, he fucking totally sounds like he does. And it's awesome. So, what's up, Patty? Um, but I really I enjoy his company, and he keeps me on my toes. He really does, and he got humbled today because he pulled the wrong measurement, and I said, it's humbling, ain't it? And he goes, yeah, man, it really is. And I said, dude, it happens to all of us. I said, it don't matter if you've been doing this for 20 or 30 years, it'll happen, especially when we're tired, because he gets up and goes to the gym with me too. He's my trainer at the gym, and then I'm his trainer at work, which is a weird dynamic to keep under wraps, but we've been doing pretty good. What do y'all talk about in the chat? Yeah, I'm not really a builder. I can build stuff. Yeah, Tato. Um, I can build buildings, and I have built lots of buildings. But when it comes to like being like a house builder, it's not really my specialty. My specialty in construction is basically whole house renovations or kitchen and bathroom remodels. That's what I specialize in, or doing like additions off of houses, any of that kind of stuff. But when I started in the construction world on the West Coast, in California, it's a little bit different than a lot of other states, because in California, if you're a general contractor, you can do all your own plumbing, HVAC, electrical, framing, concrete, you name it, roofing, all the way through all the trades. You can pretty much do all your own stuff. And you know, in most other states, you have to have a plumbing license. It's a specialty one, or you have to have electrical license or an HVAC AC one. Those are all specialty licenses, and then everything else too. Like there's a bunch of different ones. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm basically kind of like, I don't know if you'd call it like a home improvement contractor, but basically, yeah, I can build cabins and I can build little houses and stuff like that and do additions, but it's not really my favorite thing to do. It's fun framing stuff and building things. But for me, I like finish work, and I like all the finish work. Um, like, I hate doing drywall, but I'm okay at it. I'm really good at painting. I'm fairly good at finish carpentry. I'm really, really good at hanging doors and door trim. I'm really good at doing windows. I'm pretty good at doing flooring, and I've done all different types, from hardwood to engineered hardwood to laminate. I've done a little tiny bit of carpet, but that definitely ain't my jam. Ton of tile. I'm decent at tiling. I'm not like over the top good, but definitely I don't have any complaints on it when I'm done. People appreciate it. It looks pretty awesome. I wish I had another phone I could show you guys pictures of it, because shit comes out pretty epic sometimes. Um, but yeah, there's just like a million things. I install cabinets, countertops. I can do plumbing, electrical, all kinds of different stuff that a lot of dudes don't really have. They're not comfortable doing all of it. And so I did a off-grid cabin for a really awesome lady, and it was a kind of a start to finish for me. So she had already had like a shell basically, and I came in and did all the plumbing, all the electrical, insulated it, put up moisture barrier. I subcontracted the drywall work because it was just too much for me solo, and I didn't have anybody working with me at the time. And so I subcontracted out, but now we got it into paint. Then I came back and I did did a tile shower for her. I did rainwater catchment for her. All kinds of cool stuff. And so that's like my kind of start to finish. And I think when I'm off of these big jobs, I'm going to go back out and they want me to do a bunch of heavy equipment work and all kinds of other stuff. I think I'm going to put her kitchen together and some flooring and a little bit of finished carpentry and some doors. Nothing too crazy. I do roofing and metal roofs and comp roofs too. Um, I do landscaping. There's a bunch of different stuff. I've done so many different things. I can do sprinkler systems. I've done pipe fitting and welding and all kinds of stuff. So I've done a little bit of everything. It's just not. I don't know. I like what I do. I like to finish stuff. Not only finish stuff, but yeah. Because if I paint, a 4,000 square foot house, with just me and a couple dudes, at the end of it, I'll be ready to not paint for a while. I want to do something else. I get bored. Oh man, Patty, she's out of town visiting a friend. She's out of state actually. She took a little road trip and went to go finish. So I'm home solo. It's just me and the dog. And the dog decided she wanted to go on a walkabout tonight. So I don't know. She's out probably killing bunnies or something like that. Paint sprayer. Yeah, I think I have two commercial paint sprayers and one like little home project one, little Home Depot cheapos. Um, the ones at Home Depot are not professional grade. They're what we call homeowner style. If you go to like a paint store like a Sherwin Williams or a Dunn Edwards or a Benjamin Moore, they have actual real spray equipment that's not cheap, but it's badass. What's funny is most of the stuff I learned how to do just came from being on job sites with people. Like I didn't know hardly nothing, and the first trade that I actually did learn, funny, I think I've told the story about it. The first trade that I learned was painting, and how I got on that gig was I all the way bullshitted this painting contractor and told him that I could paint. And I had painted with my sister with like specialty stuff, doing like stencil work or gold pinstriping, totally different than commercial and residential painting. And I even at that, I was my shit was minimum. I all the way BS this dude, and he knew within the first hour I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And but he kept me on, and he kept me on, and I kept showing up. And I mean, one day we did like 17 hours trying to wrap that job up, and he just kept me on, and so I stayed. And I bugged him. I said, "Hey, let me paint something," because he was having me just cover stuff with paper and tape. And I said, "Let me paint something." And he goes, "All right, paint the window sills." And there was there's like 100 of them in this house that we were painting, and I just didn't know what to expect. Didn't know how to make it look right, and I that was great, man. But this dude, he kept me on for like a year, and he taught me so much shit. And he made me do so many different things, and like checked me, like checked my work. He'd show me how to do it, and then he did just have me doing it the rest of the day or the rest of the week or the rest of the month. And for about a year, this guy took me under his wing and put up with my bullshit. And all I did is really show up because I was a pain in the ass to work with, I'm sure. Um, and after about a year, he had shown me every trick he had, and he said, I said, "Hey, come look at all my work. You know, it's really good." And he goes, "It's about time." And he fired me. And he goes, "Hey, man, you're marketable now. Go make a living for yourself." And I didn't understand. I was like, "Why'd you fire me if I'm good now?" All right. And I didn't understand. I was like, "Damn, man, what a douchebag." I was so bitter. But what he did is he forced me to go make a living for myself, and he showed me how to do it. And he knew I had enough tools and sense to go get my hustle on. And that's what I did. And then here I am, 17 years later, um, blessed. Yeah. And I learned all kinds of stuff along the way, just watching people do stuff. And then I'd go try it and figure out how to do it myself. Yeah. What's funny about that, too, Hemi said attitude of gratitude gets you a long way. It does. And so that dude had the same, somebody did the same thing for him as he paid it forward. And so for me, that's one of the things that I like to do is I like to pay it forward. So over the years, I've trained, I think, maybe five or six dudes, and there's been a few of them. I probably trained more than that, but there's been maybe a handful of guys out of all the years that really took the skills that I taught them and did something with it. Um, I got a buddy right now that's out there hustling, doing it, and he's doing really good. He's on the West Coast still. I really wanted to teach my oldest son, but that wasn't. He didn't want to do that kind of stuff. He wanted to do other kind of things like sell cell phones or something. But he's like a manager now or something. But I really wanted to pass this off, and I think by the time my littles are big enough for me to teach them, like on the job, I think I'll probably be getting really close to retiring from what I'm doing because there ain't a lot of super old dudes doing what I do because it just beats you up. So, but who knows? Maybe I'll run till I like 90. We'll see what happens. Hmm. Jeremy's question got me. I think it's important if you're going for skills that you should at least fine tune more than one. Like work on one, get it good, then get another one, and then get another one. Um, but it's not to say that you can't try stuff in between or do them both. It really, really kind of depends. I mean, there's jobs that I did when I first started painting, and how I got into finish carpentry was they were like they wanted new doors and they wanted new baseboard and trim. And I mean, when you take stuff apart, you kind of see how they made it. And for me, that just made sense. And so, finish carpentry, old school painters used to take windows, wooden windows, they'd take them apart and they'd refinish the window and then reglaze it with window putty, and then they'd put it back in. That's back when they were single pane, and that was part of a painter's job. And so when I started painting, these old school dudes taught me, hey, this is how you do this. And so you had to be a little bit of a carpenter to be a painter. And another thing is too is because a little putty, little paint makes a carpenter what he ain't. For real. Because I mean, if the carpenters do a shitty job, it's always the painter's job to make it look good. And so you have to do all kinds of stuff. Like sometimes we've had to pull pieces of wood out and just replace it because it was that bad. Shalom, Texas T. Yeah, painter's tape. You know what's funny, Patty, is I don't use painter's tape um, to make straight lines. I freehand to make straight lines. Yeah, when I cut in the ceilings or walls or trim, I just freehand cut it in. Um, and I can, if I go slow, I can do it almost perfect. I'm usually, I don't go super slow. Um, but there is tricks to painter's tape and caulking used together, which is a wonderful thing. But there's a lot of variations in paint and in caulking and in tape that could definitely fight against you. People make it look really easy when they're professionals, or they shoot a video on it because they've already done all the bullshit editing on the side, and they make it look really simple. But it takes a lot of skill to put tape down properly, to put caulking down properly, and to put the right amount of paint on. So yeah, well, freehand painting is like what tradesmen do. It takes too much time to cover everything in tape. You got to learn how to do it freehand. It's not that I don't use masking tape or paper or plastic to cover stuff up. I do, but it's mostly if I'm like worried about dripping on a hardwood floor and I'm painting baseboard that touches it, I'll use it then. Or if they've got wallpaper, sometimes I'll use a little bit. Um, but like if it's a ceiling or trim or anything else, or even like stain grade wood or like super high end cabinets, I'm doing it freehand. I'm not using tape. Um, it's just, it's more efficient for me, and I get to control the amount of paint because, man, I wish I had a paintbrush on me right now. I could show you guys. So the angle of which you tilt your paintbrush and then the amount of paint that's on it, you'll get what's called a little bead of paint. And you end up only really using just a very small amount of your paintbrush to get the bead to run right up close to something. And like if this is the wall, when I paint, my paintbrush is at an angle like this so that I can control how the bristles turn. And I'll do a video on it sometime. Yeah, I'll do a close up. I'll like have Dudley shoot for me, and I'll do a video of how to like cut in and do like make straight lines and how to lay paint off. There's techniques to it, but I think painters on the internet, a lot of them go really fast, or they just go and they don't really explain the technique of how to use a paintbrush because it's an art. And in different countries, paintbrushes are shaped, and they're different shapes than are here. Like Europe, they use the round paintbrushes, and round paintbrushes, and their buildings are still like ours. They have square and flat corners, and they still use a round paintbrush to get into a tight corner that's like, you know, like this. They can still make it go in there, and it's all how they move the bristles. Same technique, just a different tool. All right, y'all. Well, it's 9:30. I'm gonna jump off of here. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. No, you definitely don't use all the bristles. Most of the bristles on your paintbrush just hold the paint, and you just use a few to make the lines. Yeah, we'll go live Friday night again. It'll probably be late. I think we've got a Rev Shabbat. We're gonna hook up with our Pete. Love you guys. Shalom.